What's going on, everybody? LK here, and today I want to talk about SSJ Goku because SSJ Goku is a really interesting character. I wanted to talk about how strong some characters were back in the day, but when this game came out, people were looking at characters like the enemy himself, Adult Gohan, or SSJ Vegeta, or Cell. SSJ Goku was kind of overlooked, so I feel like he's a super interesting place to start because one, he's the main character, two, in his own game, he was just super low-key and just eventually just powered up, kind of like the show. So we're going to talk about what made SSJ Goku so good despite seeming so plain when the game came out. And one of these things I'm going to share about SSJ Goku, I have never actually shared with anybody, like publicly. So like tournament players knew about this thing, but we used to, this is secret tech that I'm about to share that I've never shared before. So when I left this game in season 3.5, Goku was considered just an afterthought, basically. At that point, not only did they nerf a bunch of his really good stuff, but things that made him really unique and a staple character pick in season 1 and season 2 were given to way more characters. These are things like beam assist or accessing multiple supers. So you can kind of say he left the game the way he started the game. Like, people just really weren't looking at him. So when this game came out, I listed a couple characters before, but there was also the Eternal Kid Buu. There was like Android 16 was really good when the game came out. So especially in North America, people really weren't looking at SSJ Goku as a character, but he has a ton of good stuff that eventually turned him into like a top tier, everyone was playing him type of character. The characters that were quickly looked at as very, very good had really obvious good stuff. So Kid Buu, if you play Dragon Ball FighterZ, has been top tier almost basically the entire length of the game being out since 2018. In season 1, he was really, really crazy. So for example, these stomps didn't scale, so you could get a big combo from a really safe range, which is really important. This is far from optimal, but just the point that he can do this from almost half screen with low was very, very threatening. In this version, Android 16's light command grab led to a hard knockdown, so you could do some crazy stuff with him this version. You had a simple mix-up back then where you could do light command grab, and then air dash cross, or light command grab into super dash, or you could sneak in a dragon rush, or you can sneak in another command grab. Cell was kind of an all-rounder, just easy character that did a lot of damage and had some unique combos compared to the rest of the cast. He had this famous loop in season 1 that has a lot of variations, and this was like an early example of people just having unique combos. Because in case you forgot, many characters in DBFZ have the same exact simple combo, and this was way more exaggerated in season 1 than in later seasons. In later seasons, they gave characters new properties on a lot of their moves, usually special moves, to make them stand out a little bit and reward people who just explored the combo system a little bit more. So with all these characters having, they have enough stuff to make their own videos about. Like, I can make a video about Cell very easily. He had a ton of stuff, or Kid Buu, he had a bunch of glitches along with all his good usual tools. So what makes SSJ Goku stand out with these characters? So first we have to talk about the assist, the beam assist. So it's the Kamehameha assist. In season 1, everyone only gets one assist. So the beam assist that he has is actually very uncommon. So really it's him, Cell, and Goku Black that have beam assists. And Cell's is unique in that it hits at a different angle. It's still good, but it's not full screen like SSJ Goku. So what is so good about this assist? So one is the area it controls. So it controls the entire bottom of the screen. In team games, controlling like large amounts of space without really having to commit to anything is really, really good. So for the cost of just using his assist, just calling him, you control the entire ground. They have to jump to get away from you, or else they're just kind of stuck blocking this. They can't really do anything about this. 2 is because he covers the entire ground, he helps everybody. And what I mean is that it's pretty simple to come up with neutral strategies with him that work for any character. With a little creativity, you can do things from full screen and instantly get to your opponent, which is pretty strong in a game with such good movement. So here I'm going to do an example of Kid Buu. I'm going to get full screen, and the CPU is set so that they only block one attack. So if I leave any gap, then they'll get hit. So that's really strong because I came from full screen, forced SSJ Vegeta to the ground, and immediately made him take a 50-50 mix-up. That's very, very powerful. Another thing that's really good about this assist is the stable block stun. So what I mean is, once I'm blocking it, I can't mash reflect out of it. This is really important because SSJ Vegeta's assist gets nerfed, so his assist no longer has that stable kind of block stun. So while you can like reflect his out of block stun, you can't really do that to SSJ Goku, and that becomes very valuable for people who like offense. So next, his damage is all around quite good. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, SSJ Goku had a lot of unique combo routes that other characters didn't have. It was pretty uncommon in this season. So if you didn't have an assist and you got a good hit with, say, Kid Buu, you would probably do something like this. Which is not bad damage by any means, but you know, with assist or maybe closer to the corner, Kid Buu would be able to do much more damage. So if you were going to do the same thing as everyone else, with SSJ Goku getting a similar hit, you're already at quite a bit more damage already, but that was just with a simple combo. But he had all sorts of unique extensions. So for example, something like this. So this does almost 50% with like no assists, no meter, and he had these type of combos in a lot of situations. So he had that mid-screen extension, he has a unique corner combo using this routing, his Sparking Blast combo routing, in addition to being able to do double supers by himself. Then we have to talk about his solo neutral. So the gold standard for solo neutral in this version of the game is SSJ Vegeta. So when Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, a big question is how do you deal with Super Dash? A mechanic like this is just pretty unheard of in a fighting game, is what I would say. There's a couple of games. The main one that people would always say is Arcana Heart, where you can kind of just fly at your opponent. But I didn't really play that game like that, but I'm pretty sure it's not totally automatic the way Super Dash is with its tracking. But the really good thing about SSJ Vegeta is that he has these Ki Blasts that are pretty fast, and he has an air DP where it beats jumping attacks on the first frame, so immediately. So what this means is that anyone who Super Dashes at him, he could just hit them really easily, and even if he shoots a Ki Blast, he can react with Dragon Punch, and this can lead to massive damage depending on the type of hit you get and how good you are at combos. So this means basically where I showed you that offensive example Kid Buu of doing like Ki Blast toss plus SSJ Goku and flying in, so that's being aggressive. SSJ Vegeta is really good at being defensive, and he can do this alone, just kind of chill, not really commit, fire a couple of Ki Blasts, and react to you super dashing and hitting you. So it's really hard to get in on him in this version, even when he's by himself. But SSJ Goku is pretty comparable. He has the same type of Ki Blast. He only fires one, he can't fire multiple, but on the ground, he's able to do that same kind of fire one and fire two and react to something. So in this example, let's see, I hit him a couple of times. This time he does Super Dash, I hit him with 2H immediately. Getting hit by SSJ Goku is a big deal, so you don't want to get hit by a 2H starter from him. His solo neutral ends up being pretty good, especially considering his solo damage that we showed before is also really good, so he's very self-functioning. He also has unique frame data compared to a lot of characters, so a lot of characters in this game, they tend to be disadvantageous when they do things. So for example, if we have Kid Buu do this string here, so he resets his pressure, you can kind of see there's like a large pause in between the attacks, so I could just interrupt, no problem. So the main thing people would do would be they would delay their normals so that they would hit you. But that doesn't mean there weren't ways to be advantageous without using assists. So one way you could do it is by firing a beam and canceling to vanish. So vanish on block is advantageous, so I will never win this exchange. There's only a couple of problems with this. So one, if we use the move that I use an example here, so I use Cell's Kamehameha, if I just block this, he's advantageous here and beats me, but there's a small gap in between the attack and the Kamehameha by design. It's a very common gap in pressure. So then you might be like, okay, so why not just do normals into Vanish then? And the problem with that is that Vanish is also not very fast. So even doing this leaves a small gap. Doing it to Cell, his perfect attack beats jump-ins right away, and getting hit by something like this is doom. Like, you would just die if you got hit by something like this. So uniquely, SSJ Goku has a way to safely set up this Vanish with no room for interruption. So his auto combo has special block stun that makes it so if you do his auto combo into a Kamehameha, you can't move, you're just stuck in the block stun. I'm really doing my best, there's just no gap there. So he gets to be advantage at a cost of a bar. So all the stuff we talked about so far is well and good, but the next couple of things are probably like the main things that really put him in the elite group in this game. So far we talked about how he does like really good damage and he's a really good support. And a really big thing about Dragon Ball FighterZ is they actually, they being the devs, really dislike when characters are good at too much stuff. So one challenge I personally had with this game, and let me know if you had the same type of crisis, not being able to figure out things, but I was just never satisfied with characters because I would look at a character and look at good things and their flaws, and I'm just like, dude, like I just can't find a character that does all this stuff I need them to do. What I ended up figuring out later is that's the point, and that's why it's a team game and not a 1v1 game, is that you need to make a team where everyone complements each other and you reduce your character's flaws as much as possible. The problem is, when the game came out, the characters with flaws had way too many flaws, and the characters with little or no flaws did way too much stuff. So usually the main reason why people wouldn't pick up SSJ Goku would be mainly that he wasn't very flashy, but we already went over that as far as like combos, and that he didn't have very good mix-up. So he had really good combos, but he also was part of a very small group of characters that could do multiple supers. So what do I mean? This was one of the things that people requested to bring back the most. Like, people really want this thing back. So the way it works in Dragon Ball FighterZ today is some characters are allowed to do this. So some characters have level 1, which most people call like a level 2. Some characters can charge their level 1s. Some characters can do a level 1 and they have a level 3 follow-up or something like that. So an easy example of showing this would be with Bardock. So he has level 1. That's built into his special move list. So the concept of the combo I'm about to show you is that these characters have such fast level 1s, and Kid Buu's has the range that goes up and down. So because of this, I can put in more supers than normal. And I should say intended, because this thing was nerfed in Season 2. So here's an example combo with Cell. So here I was able to do 4 level 1s. So level 1 of Cell, and level 1 with Kid Buu, and level 1 with SSJ Goku, and then another level 1 with SSJ Goku. Not only is he able to get this type of conversion when he's on point, that uses a bunch of extra resources, right? So the same little loop we had before into the down super, and then he can go into another level 1 by himself, full damage, full minimum damage again, into Bardock, into Cell's level 3 for a total of 6 bars, which is a lot of extra damage. Even if he was in another slot, he has the same type of flexibility. So I have this Cell combo. It's going to go into knockdown, into Cell level 1, and then Kid Buu's level 1, which goes up and then down, immediate Goku level 1, and then Goku level 3. So again, 6 bars, which is a lot, and none of these are all full damage supers. So him just being around and having a lot of resource means you can cash out for huge damage, and this was an important consideration in building teams at this time because not everyone can do this. So if your character couldn't do this for some reason, their stocks would just be way lower compared to characters that could. So if you didn't play at this time, then you might be like, wow, because the opponent gets wall bounced and they're kind of close compared to Season 2 and on. So the last really good thing about him is that despite being a really straightforward character, and a huge reason why a lot of people did not play him for a long time was he had no mix-up. Like, his mix-ups were not as good as characters as Kid Buu or Cell or Andrew 16. But the truth is, his mix-up was nasty. So there's a couple things he had. In Season 1, many characters had strong, airtight mix-ups. So people were really focused on finding these type of sequences. A big problem SSJ Goku, people would say, is that his 2L, his crouching jab, is not a low, it's a middle attack. Where his crouching medium, 2M, is a low. Where many common picks for characters like Kid Buu, like Cell, they had a 2L crouching light that was a low. So this enabled high-low mix-up that was quite strong. In Season 2, they nerfed and changed a lot of sequences. So something that started becoming really common in Season 2 was this kind of two-step thing of, oh, if they respect the sequence, then I get a 50-50. So an example of one that was really common, and I started to use a lot too, very early in Season 2, would be something like this. So check this string out. So it's a string into super dash, into assist call, into a low, but you can go high as well. So the interesting thing about this string is that there's a super dash in the middle, right? But once the super dash happens, you can't do anything. If you respect the super dash, then they get a mix-up. And there's a pretty big gap in here, so you can match like 2H, you can reflect. There's plenty of ways to escape the situation, but once you choose to block and they do it, you take the 50-50. Here's one thing about SSJ Goku. You might have remembered that his auto combo is special and it has more block stun than other moves. So you can apply it here as well, and all of a sudden, our man has a high-low. There is a gap there, like we mentioned, but specifically because of the auto combo, you cannot 2H the super dash there because there's too much extra block stun. So the amount of responses are far fewer. As we know from before, if you get hit by SSJ Goku, you are dead. So this type of situation is actually pretty scary. Next comes is level 3. So level 3s are pretty valuable in this game, especially as time went on and they nerfed more things or made more things interactable. Having a good mix-up level 3, especially on your last character, was really valuable. So SSJ Goku, in this version, it doesn't send you full screen like the current versions. And you might be like, why would they make so many supers send so far away? It's because they did not like how many characters got such good mix-ups off level 3, and SSJ Goku is actually one of the prime ones. So funny story about this one in particular. So I'm about to show you the mix-up that basically was top secret. We used to call this the forbidden mix-up, but the funniest thing about this mix-up that he has is that both North America and Japan found the same mix-up independently of each other and didn't tell each other, and then met at the World Tour Finals Year 1, and people were seeing Japanese players and Japanese players seeing American players doing this Goku mix-up. Everyone was like, who told the other country? Who snitched? I found that quite funny. So I'm going to share with you the truly forbidden mix-up. Short little combo just because it's level 3 is really long, but boom, that's it. That is the forbidden mix-up. If you're playing currently, it'll look pretty familiar because it's pretty common with characters like Vegito. There's a range where his jump medium will hit cross-up, but if you hit jump S in the same spot, you will stop and be on the same side. So this is pretty strong for a few reasons. One, it's really ambiguous because you're doing it from the same position. I have a theory that left-right mix-ups are trickier than high-low mix-ups because high-low mix-ups are just invisible, so you're just flipping a coin. But left-right mix-ups, usually one way, you can kind of, emphasis on kind of, see it. So the thing that keeps you on the same side or the thing that makes you drift over is like a really tricky option. And then if you see someone defending that, then you know you could hit them the other way really easily. Where, again, a high-low is invisible, so if I hit somebody, I kind of am like, well, I don't totally know why, besides they weren't holding the right way, but I don't have a good clear view of their tendencies until I do it to them a couple of times. Where with the left right, like if someone blocks this, I know they're not blocking that. They also didn't have a great training mode when this game came out, so you didn't have a lot of recording slots, so it's really hard to practice against. It also took a while to find as well. But this made him really the complete package, because that means he has really good mix-ups, because he has a good left-right, and he has a high-low in the corner. He has a mix-up level 3. His damage output is insane, both solo and with team comps that let either him do multiple supers or other characters do multiple supers. The team you see right now, this Kid Buu Cell SSJ Goku, this is the team I played at EVO. This team was pretty good. I was just too slow. I didn't think to use SSJ Goku for a while, so my Goku was not very good. But this team was really flexible, really high damage, lots of neutral control, lots of mix-ups. And characters in any order could cash out and use more meter to do more damage really quickly. And that's SSJ Goku. So all these things really took him over the top, and along with characters getting nerfed. So as like Gohan, he's the World Tour finalist winning character. He was on that team. So the winning team is Gotenks, Gohan, and Yamcha. SSJ Vegeta falls off because his assist gets nerfed. Bardock falls off over time because they nerf a bunch of his stuff. As with Android 16, Android 16 took huge nerfs at the end of season 1, but SSJ Goku just kept all of this stuff, and since it wasn't obvious from the beginning, they kind of just let him cook. They just didn't really change any of his stuff, and he endured from season 1 to season 2. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I mean, he falls in line too with protagonist characters being really juiced. So I thought when the game came out, I was like, man, it's really weird that Goku is like not good, but Vegeta is amazing. But by the end of season 1, I was like, oh, he's juiced. Like season 1 and season 2, SSJ Goku is an S tier character, which falls in line for like just main characters being super good in modern games. As usual, if you guys have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.